Good evening and welcome to this edition of MWR Experts Live. Mike Randolph here, coming to you directly from MWR's New England headquarters right here in southern New Hampshire. Before we get started today, I just want to remind everyone that this session is for the education and training of our marketing directors and members and is not normally intended for distribution to the public. However, reproduction of all or any portion of tonight's session is strictly prohibited. We will be discussing information regarding our memberships and or our rewards and revenue sharing plan. Please be aware that any projections or testimonials shared are for illustration purposes and are not intended to serve as a guarantee of results. For more information, please visit mwrfinancial.com. And with that, it's time to bring on our very, very, very special host for the evening. This gentleman is one of the original serial entrepreneurs. He is one of the kind of gentlemen that, as you get to know him, you first say, you know what, I will trust this guy with my dog, and I'll trust him with my kids. I'll trust him with my grandkids. But the ultimate compliment in business, I'll trust him with my money. Up until now, everything he's touched has turned to gold. His name should be Midas. But you know what? He is a gentleman's gentleman and wants everyone to win, and that includes each and every one of you. Please welcome my friend and yours, CEO, founder of MWR, which means Make Wealth Real. Please welcome Mr. Brian House. Brian, how are you, buddy?
Hey, I'm doing great, Mike. How are you?
If I was any better, I'd be you.
Oh shoot. Listen. Hey, that was a great introduction, and I don't know where you come up with some of this stuff. I swear it scares me to death. I don't know what's going to come out of your mouth. But listen, the good news is that everybody doesn't have to give me their money. Okay, so they have plenty of places to put that with MWR that's going to help them make even more money, and that's what we're going to talk about tonight, Mike. We're going to talk about uh, one, I do want to say this before we get into anything, guys. There is a lot happening behind the scenes right now, and there's a major sense of urgency with what we're doing, and we're going to touch on that a little bit tonight. But when I say a sense of urgency, I want you to realize that that sense of urgency is based on timing and positioning of where we are right now with some things that are happening in the industries that we're involved in. And we want you guys to be able to capitalize on. And in return, we're going to capitalize on. So I'm not telling you tonight anything, Mike and Damo. We're not going to be sharing with you anything that we are not doing ourselves. And I want to make this very clear. I'm going to be providing a lot of information tonight uh, based on the fact that I'm not, well, let me just say this. I am not a financial advisor. We have tons of experts inside of MWR, inside of our membership. They're the experts, okay? But I do have some experience and when it comes to finances and money and some things that have to do with where to put my money in order to get it to grow and to make money and in building business and those type of things. So that's where my experience lies. But as I speak to you tonight, I want you to understand I'm speaking based on what I am doing. I'm not telling you to do it. I'm speaking based on what I am doing and why I am so excited about where we are right now and the position we're in to really, really make a difference in your life, in other people's lives, and why there's such a sense of urgency to get this message out there. So, with that, Mike, I don't see you on camera. Uh, and hopefully Ndamo's here too. But guys, I want to bring up, oh, there you are. Great. I love the hat. Listen, I want to bring up our managing partner too, Indamo Tolson. And Dom, if you're out there, if you can jump on with us too. I'm not going to do a big formal introduction tonight because we got a lot of information to cover. And part of that information, we're going to back it up tonight too. That's another thing. It's one thing for me or Mike or Indamo to tell you guys something about what we're getting ready to do, but I'm going to give it to you tonight from a little bit of a different perspective. Okay. I want you to see what the world is saying, what the other experts are saying about what we're doing. Okay. What we're getting ready to make happen here at MWR. Part of the puzzle's already in place. Okay. The final pieces of the puzzle are being put into place as we speak. There are things happening behind the scenes. I keep saying that. We've got a lot of work to still do, but we're extremely excited about the direction that we're going and positioning you guys now to be able to participate in what I believe is going to be, without question, and you ought to get this tonight. You ought to understand this tonight. I think it's going to be one of the biggest wealth transfers in history. Okay. And we are facilitating. We're facilitating, not by ourselves, because of amazing relationships that we've been able to develop with some high caliber, high quality companies and individuals that, one, saw what we were doing at MWR and loved it. But in return, we saw what they were doing and loved it. And it just created this amazing win-win scenario for everybody that brought us all together. And you guys get to participate in it, because I will tell you, if MWR did not exist, I would still, and I was talking to Dom and Mike about this earlier, I don't have to work 14, and you can probably tell by the bags under my eyes, I don't have to work 14, 16 hours a day anymore. Okay. But this is so big, I don't care to work 14 to 16 hours a day. I have been extremely blessed over the course of my career in business and investing and everything else to literally make tens of millions of dollars. Okay. And I say that humbly and gratefully. Okay. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I give full credit to God. He has blessed me way more than I deserve. And, but at the same time, he's also positioned me or put me in places at the right time to be able to take advantage of those things. And when it comes to what we're doing here, we're in the right place at the right time. And we're having to put in all the effort. I mean, Dom's got bags under his eyes. Mike, you look pretty good, but Mike's been working like crazy too, and so have a bunch of other people behind the scenes. But it's worth it. It's worth it, because I will tell you, over my career, and I've had some major wins in my life. Okay, and again, very grateful for that. But at the same time, this is without question, and hear me very clearly on this. This is without question the biggest deal that I have ever participated in. This is the biggest win that my family will ever have in their life. And it won't be because, of you guys signing somebody up for $149.97. Okay. I promise you, that's not going to make that big of a difference right now. It doesn't mean we won't grow to hundreds of thousands of people, and that might be significant. You guys already know we pay out over 80%, run this company on 20% profit margin, unheard of in our industry. Okay, but that's why so many of you make, 600 to, $3,000, $1,500 a day. Or or 600 a month to 15,000 a month, whatever you want to say. But at the same, or a day, whatever. Tom, I'm losing track of our compensation plan right this second. But this is bigger than that. Okay, in the long run. But I want you to understand this. What we're doing with MWR Fundable 360, what we're doing with precious metals and leasing, along with the appreciation, is what creates an amazing opportunity. Okay. And I want to show you that tonight. We want to talk about, Mike, I'm going to probably have you pull up the illustrator again. And I want to go through this one more time. Guys, you all have seen this over and over again. I hope you're using it. Because I will tell you, there are conversations we've had with several leaders that in the industry that have, and family. I'm just going to tell you this. I know Dom's had meetings with his family. I know Mike is meeting with friends and family. I know I am meeting with friends and family and talking to different people that are in my circle that
Ryan's internet has hit the link. You can still hear me, Mike, right? I seem like I see you
so
moving.
this is absolutely real, but we're gonna break it down and let. Did you lose me?
You
Yes.
disappeared for a second, Brian. Yeah, I know the internet still comes in on a truck there in Kentucky, so
It does, and we've got some weather going on too. Not that ours is satellite. I don't know why that would affect it, but at the same time, maybe I'm talking too fast and it can't keep up. Which is, in Kentucky we don't talk that fast. I'm kind of a rarity. But no offense to any of my other friends in Kentucky, but at the same time, we're going to give you some clarity tonight. So I can ramble and keep going on this, but I hope you guys can see how excited I am because I'm starting to see more and more of these puzzles or pieces of the puzzle being put into place. I know we're getting closer and closer and closer to having our leasing program in place. We already have our funding in place. We already have our our Fundable 360, which is our business credit and funding, which is absolutely phenomenal. We have our precious metals in place where you can purchase precious metals. The depository is being finished as we speak. In addition to that, the asset management company, Jay Stryker, who have partnered with our precious metals company, 115-year-old asset management company. The credibility behind what we're doing, guys, is absolutely second to none. It's second to none. Okay. And then you've got us. We're an 8-year-old company, multi-million-dollar debt-free company that, is paying out, hundreds of thousands of dollars on a weekly basis and monthly basis right now that goes into your pockets. And because you decided to share this with other people. So, and I could go on and on and on about that. But let's pull up the illustrator, Mike, because I want to get into this real quick. And I want to also have you pull up, if you would, here in a second when I tell you, we're gonna break down where you can see this for yourself. Okay, not just taking our word for it. You can actually see, Google it. Everybody Googles everything these days. Okay, so don't take my word for it or Dom's word for it or Mike's word for it. Just Google it. Okay, but with this, Mike, let's go through this. First of all, I'm going to say this. You'll notice on this illustrator, it's talking about leverage, and guys, that's what this is all about. We cover three or four. We have four areas of leverage that we provide. Okay. Leverage number one right now is MWR Fundable 360, our business funding, okay, to where we can get you a minimum of $50,000 in ongoing business funding to start with that. And when I say ongoing, that means that you can increase that, okay, to where 50,000 this year, 50,000 next year, 50,000 that, and that could be, and I'm using minimums. For some of you, it will be 100,000, 150, 200,000, and everything we're showing tonight. Mike, I saw something that says host to stop video. stopped your video.
Yeah, I shut off your video so you wouldn't block the Illustrator.
I'm gonna
Oh.
do the same as well.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay. So hopefully everybody can see the Illustrator and stuff, but that's the first layer, leverage is being able to use the bank's money to do this instead of using your money. And with our MWR Fundable 360, you guys know it is strictly business funding, meaning that we will help you establish your business if you don't already have one. Meaning if you don't have one, you've got MWR. You can have your MWR business, make it into an LLC. I'm not going to go into all that. I'm just going to try to cover this, but I want you to know every part of this, we can help you facilitate to make sure that you're able to participate. So, but no personal collateral, no personal credit needed, minimum 15,000 guaranteed, no risk, all of that. Beautiful. So, Mike, let's just say we put in $50,000 for our initial funding. Okay. And right now, Mike, I don't know if you can juggle back and forth. You tell me. Okay. But the average interest rates, according to, I believe, bankrates.com for business funding, and this is normal business funding, guys. This is not high risk, MCA type loans, none of that stuff, merchant cash advance, none of that stuff. This is actual bank funding, okay? But Mike, if you're going to switch, let's look at what the average interest rates are right now. Term loans, let's do business. Right now,
here's something kind of interesting, Brian. I just Googled this. Current unsecured business credit rates.
Right.
That's what I Googled. Here's the information. This is aggregated, but they say 7 to 75% APR. Brian, can you help us understand why it says 7 to 75%?
Yeah, it's because the different types of loans that you're looking at, like I said, MCA type lending, merchant cash advances, more higher risk lending, those type of things, you're going to get into higher interest rates and higher upfront fees and percentage-based fees, all those kind of things, okay? We're looking at business lines of credit, and we're looking at it as bank business lines of credit, okay? Our funding experts who have been recommended by Forbes and recognized by Forbes, Entrepreneur Magazine, Inc. 5000, been recognized on CBS, on Fox, highly credible, okay? Let me just say that. They deal with just the banks. They are actually I can't think of the word, Dom. It was underwriters.
Delegate underwriters.
Yeah, they're delegate underwriters for over 400 banks, guys. So this is bank financing. This is not online lender type stuff. It's not high risk MCA, none of that stuff. We're getting people fundable and qualified for bank rates, okay? And if you look at it, it's 7.65 to 9.15%. Mike, on that, and you guys can Google this, but I want you to see this so you know we're not making these numbers up. These are just real numbers, okay? But let's go back to our Illustrator real quick, since everybody's already seen that. And I want you to put in, let's just put in 8%, Mike, for what the cost of funding will be. Okay, 8%. Let's just use that. We'll jump it kind of in the middle. And now, on top of that, I said this is ongoing business funding that you're able to qualify. So let's just say you were able to get just 50,000. Again, some of you will get 100,000, 150, 200,000, especially as you participate in this program, because as you make payments on the existing funding using your leasing returns or your residual income with MWR, as you make those payments, it's automatically going to help you start qualifying for more and more funds. Okay, so I want you to understand that as well. Now, leverage number 2 is MWR precious metals. So we're going to take this money that we borrowed from the banks, unsecured, no collateral, no personal credit, okay? And we're going to use it to buy an income producing asset, okay? Precious metals. Right now, we're focused on silver because of the ratios on silver. And so we let our members know exactly what they should be purchasing. But let's say we take this funding and we put the full 50,000 towards purchasing precious metals, okay, through MWR Precious Metals. Now, based on the leasing contracts can typically range anywhere between 1% to 6%. Mike, you can probably pull that up too. I don't know. But precious metals are able to be leased out. Our provider and our asset management company, as well as our precious metals provider, already has over $1 billion in contracts, leasing contracts secured, okay, that our members will be participating in. Now, let me explain this to you. We're going to be very conservative about this because longer term, instead of 1 month or 2 month lease agreements, we want 6 months, a year, or 2-year lease agreements. Those type of lease agreements that we're going to be entering into that you will be able to participate in the returns on, all right, they typically run anywhere between 1% to 2%. So let's be very, very conservative and let's just meet in the middle. And Mike, put in 1.5% for the monthly rate of return, okay, on our leasing contracts. Now you guys can do the math. 1.5% times 12 months, that's 18%. If you've got an APR of 8% and you're earning 18% annually using someone else's money, the bank's money, instead of yours, I don't know about you, but I'll do that all day long. Okay. And I'm going to do that all day long, just so you know. All right. Now, and because we have additional funds that we're going to be able to continue borrowing, let's say we did another $50,000, just 50,000 every year, maybe 100, 150. I'm going to do as much as I possibly can. Okay. So let's just say 50,000 more per year in additional funds to be able to purchase more precious metals. Now, that's leverage 1 and leverage 2. Use the bank's money, buy income producing asset that is able to be participated, that you're able to participate in a lease. But here's the other thing about buying this type of asset. There's also a level of appreciation to the asset, okay? And that's leverage number 3. So asset appreciation, precious metals, annual appreciation. Now, here's what I'm going to tell you. Over the last 5 years, again, Mike, if you want to pull this up, they can Google it or Google it. However, everybody, you can Google it. But over the last 5 years, I believe silver has averaged 13.32% annually. Okay. 13.32% annually. Now, remember, appreciation is on top of the leasing payments that you're making, all right, or that you're earning, okay? So at 13.32%, Mike, do you want to explain this, what you're looking at?
We just brought this up again. What's the expected growth rate of silver over the next 5 years? That's all we did. And this is Google. You guys see it. Look at this. There's all kinds of price predictions, and the 5-year expectations are anywhere between a 50% overall increase, more than doubling. There are some folks that say that it'll be $332 an ounce by 2030. You can just Google it and you're going to find information all over the place because of this right here, factors driving the growth. The industrial demand is continuing to increase. Potential supply constraints, meaning silver is being used right now at a rate that they're having a hard time mining that much. What does that mean? You guys understand supply and demand. As supply goes down and demand goes up, what happens to the price? Well, the price goes up. This is also something, Brian, you talk about a lot. We haven't talked about it on these calls very much, but silver is a safe haven asset. What does that mean?
Yeah, no, it's a hedge against inflation. As the dollar decreases in value, typically precious metals, not just silver, but silver and precious gold, palladium, all these type of things, also have the historical aspect of it, typically increase in value. Okay, as the dollar loses value, so that's one thing. The other thing is that, guys, this is a tangible asset. Okay, this is not a crypto or options or stocks or things that you really can't touch. This is something that is physical, that can be touched, that has multiple functions, multiple things that can be done with it, and that are needed, that are needed. Okay, so Mike, you just touched on something. I want you to go back because I'm gonna cover something here with this. The last 5 years, and you don't have to pull that up. They can look that up. But the last 5 years is 13.32% annually is what silver has earned. That's the appreciation. Okay, and are you going back? There you go. Okay, 13.32%. What you just saw here, the prediction is, oh my gosh, it's anywhere between 17 to 60+% annually over the next 5 years. 17 to 60% annually over the next 5 years. Okay. Now I'm gonna be very pushy about this, okay, and for good reason, because we're in the business of telling you what you need to hear, not just what you want to hear. Okay, this is not the one to play with. This is not the one you wait on. This is not the one that you tell somebody 2 years from now about. This is the one we tell everybody about now, and I'm going to explain to you why. Okay, because Mike, put in 13% real quick for the appreciate. We'll just go off the last 5 years. Be very conservative. Okay. Mike said he has his illustration, says the illustration maximum is 12%. We're going to do 13% based off the last 5 years, even though the prediction is that it'll be increase annually, the appreciation anywhere between 17 up to 60% or more. Depends on who you look at. But even at the low end, they're saying an average of 17% appreciation. Add that on top of the leasing returns, and let's say it was 17% a year in appreciation, and you were getting 18% or 1.5% a month, 18% a year in leasing returns. I don't know about you guys, but I don't know where I'm going to be able to go get 35% on my money. And if you understand the rule of 72, literally your money can double about every 2 years with just that rate of return, appreciation, and your monthly regular return. That is absolutely insane in itself. And we are being very conservative. But here's what I'm going to tell you. Silver, precious metals, those are not an infinite resource. As they start being used up, or as they start being purchased and hoarded by the public, by us, okay, and we're going to talk about that in just a second, we have the ability to drive the price up, which increases the appreciation of what you own. Now, this is why I'm so adamant. We've told you guys this is the year of the builder. Well, it's the year of the builder and the year of the buyer. Okay? The year of the builder and the year of the buyer. Whoever is building and buying precious metals wins, period. Okay? And I will stake my life on it, because this is why Dom, myself, why we can't sleep at night. Okay. And it's because we know what the numbers are. Most people don't do their homework. I'm telling you, go do your homework. You won't be able to sleep, because when all the pieces of the puzzle are in place, which all we're missing right now is our leasing. But I'm just going to say this, it's happening. Our leasing's happening. So I don't want you to take it that it's not. But here's what I'm going to say. if we didn't have the leasing and all we had was MWR Fundable 360 and the appreciation that is getting ready to happen with precious metals, I'm all in. I'm all in with everything I've got, okay? Because I can tell you, we've never seen a run like this in history. Never. And we have the ability to control the narrative. To control the narrative. What I mean by that is, I want you to think about what it will look like when there are 10,000 of us that have 50,000 a year going into buying silver. What do you think that's going to do to the appreciation value or the value of silver? Do you think it might go from $31 to maybe 70 or 80 or 100 or the 300 that Mike is talking about? And we keep compounding that because our business keeps growing. More and more people are getting funding. More and more people are purchasing precious metals. More and more people are participating in leasing. More and more people are rebuying every year to keep stacking and accumulating precious metals. I don't know about you, but I see a scenario where we, for once in your life, okay, once in my life, none of us are hedge funds owners to where we have the ability to move markets by making huge investments. But collectively, as we grow and as we introduce more people, and who would not want to participate in this? Who would not want to be able to create a passive income like what you see on the screen right now? And we've not even gotten to leverage number 4. Just with all the conservative numbers we have put on the screen right now, do you realize in 5 years of doing this, just rinsing and repeating this process, okay, at a low appreciation rate of just 13%, you realize you'd have $500,000 in assets and you didn't buy any of it with your own money? You bought it with the returns on, or you bought it with the funding that you got from MWR Fundable 360, again, unsecured, no personal collateral, no personal credit. All right. And you've accumulated over $500,000 in assets that are producing, they're really producing over $6,000 per month in returns just with the leasing payments that you're receiving. Okay. But, and Mike, I'm glad you did that because I was using my mouse and nobody can see my mouse. Okay, because I'm not sharing the screen. The cost of funding the $250,000 in funding is $1,666.67, which gives you a monthly profit of $44.31 that you're turning around and reinvesting. Each year, we're turning around and reinvesting, or not reinvesting, but repurchasing, because you're buying an asset here, okay? You're repurchasing or purchasing more of an asset is what you're doing. And this is compounding. All this is doing is compounding. And so this is amazing in itself. Who wouldn't want to do that? This is totally passive. You never told anybody about it. You never ended up, you didn't have to put your money at risk. You didn't have to, this is not, like I said, crypto or Forex or options or, even real estate. This is that, there are headaches with, there are things you have to deal with, unless you're in a position to where you can buy large units, which most of you aren't, and most people aren't able to do that because they don't have the funds or the contacts or the resources or the ability to be able to, or the credit to be able to do that. And so, this makes it to where everybody can win with no risk of loss. Okay. And what you see on this page is great. But what you see on this page, the ability to create passive income using the bank's money to buy assets that appreciate in value, all right, and you didn't have to do any work for it other than pushing a few buttons, taking care of the stuff you have to do to establish your business correctly, follow the guidance of our MWR Fundable 360 experts, to secure your funding. They're going to help you get fundable and submit you to the banks. They're going to do all that stuff for you. But here's what I'm going to tell you. This is all passive. Everything you see on the screen is all passive. You're not trading your time for money. And we're not even showing what happens in year 6 and year 7. We're not showing what happens when the appreciation is 17 to 60%. We're not showing that. Matter of fact, Mike, let's just do something conservative. Let's go in the middle and let's say annual appreciation. Maybe they're right on line and we'll meet them somewhere in the middle. Let's even meet them less. Let's just say it's 25%. What's it look like at 25% appreciation? Holy cow, you're now at $720,000 in an asset. Let's take it to 30%, Mike. Well, let's look at 30. I just want to see. This is for me personally. Man, you're almost at $1 million. You're at $825,000 in an asset. Also, notice how your monthly income increased. Do you understand that? As your precious metals increase in value, as you enter in to another contract or another leasing agreement next year, okay, guess what? Your metals are worth more, so the return is even higher. Okay, don't know if you guys caught that or not, but I'm trying to cover all the bases tonight because I want you to watch this video over and over. I want you to Google everything that we're talking about. But here's what I've got to say right now. Okay, leverage number 1, leverage number 2, and leverage number 3 are what create the opportunity to explode leverage number 4. Leverage number 4. Leverage number 4, and all we're showing is our residual income. We're not showing our MWR Fundable 360 referral bonuses, matching bonuses. We're not showing our legacy bonuses on that. Hold on, Mike, don't get ahead of me. We're not showing, all the other income streams in MWR's revenue sharing plan, because here's what I want you to understand. If you promote this portion of it, you're actually going to get paid on the MWR Fundable 360 program because people will participate in that, but you're also going to get paid on MWR's revenue sharing plan. Because here's how this works. Anybody can participate in MWR Fundable 360. They do not even have to be involved with MWR at all. It can be any business. But in order to be able to participate in our precious metals, you have to be a member. In order to be able to participate in our leasing, you have to be a member. In order to be able to buy precious metals that can be used for this and take advantage of the appreciation, you have to be a member of MWR. So as people participate in MWR Fundable 360, that's a revenue source because you get to make money off that. But in addition to that, they have to have a membership. They have to have a membership, which means you start increasing the size of your business with MWR and you start making money out of the revenue sharing plan. We're just going to talk about our residual income. But here's the kicker. In order to be able to be paid, you have to be involved in the business with MWR. You have to have an MWR business. Guys, it's the most brilliant thing I've ever seen in my life. You're able to promote one thing and be able to build multiple income streams at the same time for doing just one thing. For doing just one thing. Okay, I hope everybody gets that, which should be another form of leverage that we talk about. Plus our experts that you get to leverage. There's all kinds of leverage. We're just covering 4 of them, okay? But my question to you is, okay, and I'm going to use something here real quick. Excuse me, guys. Let me get a drink, and then I'm going to use this. Whew. All right. I'm going to use our phrase that pays. And Dom says 4 different ways, but I'm just going to use our phrase that pays. If there was a way you could acquire millions of dollars in income producing assets without using your money, would you want to know more? How many people do you know that would say yes to that? If there was a way you could acquire millions of dollars in income producing assets without using your money, would you want to know more? If somebody does not want to know more about that, they obviously don't understand income producing asset. Hopefully they'll ask you, what's an income producing asset? And you'll be able to tell them. It's where you are able to buy an asset that actually produces a monthly return for you, makes you money every single month. Okay. And, but that phrase that pays is huge. But if you showed people this, how many people do you think would want to be able to create a passive income like this? I believe everybody. I believe everybody, because we've made it available, and we're the only company that has ever made this available to the masses. To the masses. We're the only company. You are setting on what I believe is the greatest opportunity ever invented for people to be able to become and stay wealthy. I firmly believe that. Faster and with no risk of loss than any other way I've ever seen in my life. Okay. And I'm saying this as a participant, not as the CEO. I'm saying this not to get you to, I don't care. I do care because I want you to win. But let me just put it this way, and I'll be very blunt about it. Okay. If you don't go share this with a soul, I promise you, and Damo, Mike, and myself are participating in this program, we will make tens and hundreds of millions of dollars with just what I just showed you. Okay? We're just saying, why don't you come along for the ride? Why don't you bring a few people with you? Why don't you share this with some of your friends and your family and the people you love and care about? Why would you want to leave them out? Okay? And there is no hype. There is no risk. We guarantee people's success. Fundable 360. If they can't get you $50,000 or more in ongoing business funding at normal bank rates, okay, not high interest, all the stuff we just saw. If they can't do that, they'll just give you a refund. MWR, if we can't help you make or save more money in your first 30 days when you plug in, we just give you a full refund. You cannot lose. The only people that lose are the people that choose not to participate. Okay. And it's okay. We still need people to be able to do other jobs. It's okay. All right. I'm just saying this is the biggest no-brainer I've ever seen. Okay. Now I'm going to break this down for you. Let's say over the course of the next 12 days, 12 weeks, 12 months, you shared this with one person each week, each day, each week, or each month. You choose, okay? And you ended up having 12 business partners, 12 qualified marketing directors, 12 people that wanted to be involved in this with you, okay? And when you did that, all of them only did 50% of what you did, okay? And the people that they introduced only did 50% of what they did, and so on and so on. I want you to look at what this equates to. You introduced 12 people, they averaged 6 people apiece. Some may have had 3, some may have had 8, some may have gotten 12, but they averaged, okay, 6 people apiece. Then those 6, each of those averaged just 3 apiece. Then each of those averaged just 2 apiece. Then each of those averaged just 1 apiece. You would end up with 1,164 people in your MWR organization. You would be a 3-star regional director with MWR. You would be making $400 in daily pay every day. Saturday, Sunday, holidays. It pays every day. Your monthly pay would be $12,000 per month, unless there were 31 days in the month. And then it would be $12,400 per month. Okay. But $12,000 per month. Add that to the $4,431 in passive income. Your net monthly income is now over $16,000 per month. Do the math on this. That's over $200,000 a year. And what did you do? Mike, Dom, I think we pay too much. I think we pay too much.
Yeah, because I would
Introduce
ask you this,
12
Brian.
people
Right.
and
I would ask
and
you this, Brian. With you,
yeah,
when you showed me leverage 1, 2, and 3, and that happened for you, or was as it was happening for you, and let's say, Brian, you live in a smaller town. You don't, you're not like out there just talking to everybody. You're not one of those guys that's just talking to people all the time, every place you go, every second you have. If you were just a person that was kind of into them, just real calm person, who would you tell if this was happening to you? If this started happening to you during year one, you're getting the funding, you're seeing that process happen. You now see that, oh, I can get the precious metals leasing contract. Who would you tell, or would you tell anybody that this was happening? If you would, who would those people be?
everybody, Tom. I'm not, this is not something I would not want to share with people. It's the whole reason we own this company. It's the
Right,
whole reason we started MWR. I mean, MWR stands for Make Wealth Real. And we've done a pretty good job of doing that, dealing
right,
with the mundane things in people's finances. But this just smokes all of that. And it's not that those things aren't phenomenal. I love the idea we can help people reduce their taxes. I love the idea we can help them eliminate their debts, restore their credit. I love it that we can save them on the things they spend money on every day. All those things are wonderful and they are very useful. Okay. But we're talking about becoming wealthy on steroids. We're talking about putting rocket fuel to someone being able to achieve their goals and dreams in months and years, not decades, and with no risk. I can't emphasize that enough. I'll give you a good example, Dom. Let me say this. I talk about the Fundable 360, and I try to point out this is unsecured business funding that doesn't require personal collateral, so you can't lose your house, your cars. You don't have to put any that personal property up for it. It you don't have to use your personal credit, so it really doesn't matter if your credit stinks or not. Okay, all that matters is you follow the steps given to you by the experts with Fundable 360, and you get your business fundable, which takes you, if you're from zero to hero, you're looking at, let's just say max 180 days, but let's just say typically 30 to 120 days, Dom.
yes,
In order to get somebody to where they qualify for $50,000. And then at that point, you're buying a precious metal, you're being able to earn a monthly return off of it, that you use that to start paying the payments for the month for the funding. Okay. And because you're making those payments and doing that, now the banks see, okay, doing pretty good with the 50,000 we gave them. Let's up it. Let's give them 50,000 more 3 months later. Not a year, not 6 months. For some of you, this is going to happen in 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. We're, like I said, we're being extremely conservative. The average person does not have access to this, Dom. That's the
right.
thing. I mean, this has been being done by institutions, hedge fund managers. This has been being done by the ultra wealthy for decades. For none of what we're doing is a secret. It's just it's never been packaged in a way that it makes it available for the average person to participate and flat out win. Now, let me give you this scenario. God forbid something tragic happens, Dom. Let's say we're not getting the monthly returns on leasing. Your
Mm-hmm.
precious metals have appreciated. If you had to, you could sell them off. I'm not telling anybody that they have to do that. I'm saying that would be me. I would never default on a bank. I'm just not going to do it. Okay. I borrowed the money. I'm going to pay it back. and that's the way it should be. But something catastrophic happened, okay, and you weren't able to make the payments. Something historic happened. Precious metals actually went down in value. Never seen that over a long period of time. May drop a little, but it's always increased over time. Maybe that happened. And now I'm not getting leases and my precious metals aren't worth as much. Yeah, I don't see that happening, but I'm just saying, what if it did? What if it did? You didn't put up any collateral for what you did. Again, I would never suggest defaulting on a loan. And if we find out members of ours default on a loan, you will have problems participating in our program from an ethical perspective. I will put that out there. Okay. It's not a rule of the bank. It's not a rule of, it's a rule of MWR. We're going to do things the right way. We're going to do it ethically. We borrow the money, we do the right thing with it, and we pay it back. If you want to scam a bank and try to, get $50,000, which would be crazy because this is ongoing. Once you've established, once you qualify, you're always qualified. You don't have to reapply unless you mess it up. And then you get to go through the whole process again. Okay. We don't want to ever mess it up. All right. So I'm going to throw that out there. And I didn't mean to put a downer on it, Dom, but I want to make sure that, guys, we do things the right way. We do things ethically. But were you going to say something else, Dom? Because I'm rambling.
No, it's okay. That was like my real thing. I know you're saying if something catastrophic happened, because precious metals are not something that's just made and you can keep making them over and over and over again. No, they have they're limited in their, and they don't have an unlimited thing. There's only so many in the earth, so that's why that's what you're saying is so unbelievably rare, because they it's like land. You go, well, the land is going to go to zero. Well, that's pretty tough to do when God doesn't make any more land. It is what
He's
it
not
is.
making any more.
Yeah. So that's where precious metals lies. But I think what you were getting at is worst case scenario. Everything is terrible. You still have in this example, you still have $500,000 worth of an asset that
Yes.
if you needed let's say you needed $100,000 cash because something's come up and you absolutely need $100,000 cash. Well, if you have $500,000 in assets, any bank will lend you $100,000 on that $500,000.
Don't sell it. Don't sell it.
Don't sell it. Well, yeah,
borrow against it.
Yeah, for me personally, Andamo Tosin and his family will never sell our metals. We'll
Nope,
borrow
me
against
neither.
it if we need cash, but we won't sell it. And then when we do that, Brian, we didn't even think about what you just said. Everything you just said, do you realize it did not create one taxable event? Because even as you're getting profits, if you take the profits in the metals, like you just said, those profits are not taxable. The only way they become taxable is if you sell your metals. Then it becomes a taxable event. So if I need cash and I have an asset, just like if I had a house that was free and clear, if I had any other kind of asset that people borrow against, I would just borrow against the metals to get the cash I need. And that doesn't create a taxable event. So
that's right. Borrowed money is not a taxable income.
Yes. That's why everything you've said, Brian, is so profound.
Yeah. And I really hope, Dom, everybody gets what we're talking about. And because I will tell you, you can look at this board and you can see all these numbers and listen, I don't care what your education level is. This is simple math. And the reason this illustrator is put into place is so you don't have to even do the simple math. Okay. Most of you I know are looking at this and you're going, this is unbelievable. Okay. But if you don't understand it totally, please get with somebody that does. Please watch this because I want you to flat out win. But we've got a lot of work to do. And what I mean by that is there are literally 100 million plus 200 million people in this country that have 250, 300 million people in this country that have no clue this is even possible. They have no clue. and you are setting on the biggest gold mine I've ever seen. If you notice what I said about leverage number 4, here's the importance of leverage number 4. If you're in this to just get funding, buy precious metals, take advantage of appreciation and leasing, God love you. I think that's great. Okay. But if you want to be a participant in blowing up the appreciation value, get out there and share this. Get out there and share this. Because if you'll notice, in 5 years doing what we have on this screen, you could have $4,431. $4,431 in passive monthly income coming in after you take care of your cost of funding. I think that's great. For most of you, that is absolutely life-changing. But if you look at leverage number 4, you share it with 12 people, 12 days, 12 weeks, 12 months, I don't care. You 5 years, but you can do it over the 5 years. It's up to you. But you do, the faster you do it though, the faster you get duplication. The faster you do it, the faster you get duplication. You drag it out, okay, and I'm just telling you, you drag it out, and that 1,164 number that you see and $400 gets drug out too. $400 a day gets drug out too. But here's what I'm going to tell you. That leverage number 4 added $12,000, $12,000 on a month on top of the 4,400. You can do that leverage number 4 in months or a year compared to 5 years. That's the accelerator. And I'm not even going to mention what would happen. And Dom, I know exactly what you're thinking because Mike, Dom, all of us, we've had these discussions. Maybe it only takes you, $6,000 a month to live off of, and you decided I want to put the other 10,000 into precious metals as well. That's not figured in here. Mike, can you take the additional purchases annually? Can you take that to $60,000 instead of 50?
You want it 60? Is that you want 10,000 a month or 10,000 a year?
Oh no, I'm sorry. That would be a month, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Do 170,000 because that would be the 50,000 you borrowed plus. And by the way, guys, if you're making $12,000 a month, don't think your funding is going to be $50,000 if it's going into your business account. Don't think that. Your funding will probably jump up exponentially. You're looking at probably, 400, 500 to start. That's why having a residual accelerates the process. Wow, Mike, that's huge. 170,000 annually. That's taking $10,000 of the 12,000 and the 4,400. So the 16,000 that you've had, that's taking 10, living on 6, taking 10 and putting it along with the month, putting it along with the 50,000 annually that we showed. That puts you at 170,000 annually going into precious metals. You'd have over $500,000 in precious metals in 5 years. Mike, that's crazy.
Yeah, 1.5 million. There's another angle to this. Brian, I love math.
I know, me too.
When you look, as soon as you said $12,000 a month in residual income, I went, okay, well, we're making 1.5% per month. In this illustration, we're making 1.5% per month. So what is that $12,000 worth to me if it was silver that was getting me $12,000 a month? That would be an additional $800,000 worth of silver to generate $12,000 a month. So when you're putting so much emphasis on leverage number 4, all the first 3 lead to the 4th one. And you can see what your MWR business is worth in a practical sense. Figuratively, you got another $800,000 asset sitting there if it's 1.5%. Now, if it was a normal rate of return, well, it would be, it would be millions. 1.5% per month is an extraordinary rate of return. But silver is so valuable and in such high demand. That's why you can get 1.5% per month.
Well,
There is no angle to this thing that's not a big win, right, Andamo?
Mike, no, absolutely. Let me ask you this, Mike, because this will be interesting. So, Mike, if because I've spent maybe that first year, I've done exactly what Brian has indicated. I went out and I had one person a month join me for 12 months, and then half did that, and half did the same, and half did the same. So the numbers we have there. So at the end of the year, I'm already earning the $12,000 per month. But what if because now at the end of the year, they see me doing it, I'm able to show people that this is what I put in, this everything I can document and prove everything that's happening for me. And I got excited because I told 12 people initially, but now it's working for me. What if that number turned to 75%? What if, because now people don't have to wonder if it's going to work for them. They know it works for them because they're seeing myself and others. What if that number turned to 75%? What would it look like financially? Okay. Whew. So my daily pay would go to $5,000 a day per day. I'd be making $150,000 per month. Now watch this. Let's say this took me 2 years, 3 years to get to this level. But here's the thing: at 150,000 a month, I can live on and live comfortably. Let's say I lived on $50,000 a month. That was my lifestyle. Over $500,000 a year, really $600,000 a year was my lifestyle. If I took that other $100,000 and now accelerated, because I want to get to I want to get to have assets well into the millions because I'm older now and I don't have as long as my kids do to create this. I need to do it faster. So if I took $100,000 every month, which is 1.2 million on the year, what would that generate for me? Now that's what I'm talking about. Oh, now I've just secured my legacy.
Yeah, and you're not talking about 7 figures anymore. You're talking about 8.
8. I love it. See, you get me to a whole new level with MWR. That's making wealth real because what
Yeah.
I've done is my lifestyle today and tomorrow is taken care of. I'm living better than I've ever lived. I'm being able to do things I never could do before. I may be even acquiring other assets, but my precious metals, because I see what's working, what's happening. And I said, I'm going to take the 100th. I'm living off on 50. I'm going to take 100,000 every month and I'm going to acquire more more precious metals. And one of the things you said earlier, Brian, and this is what I hope people really get a hold of this. Because individually, if I was doing this all happens for me. So that's fantastic. But collectively, if we had it, and we don't have to even at this level, of collectively, if we were literally taking $50,000 and we had 10,000 people doing that, we're buying $500,000 in metals every single month. Well, actually, that's 5 million, I should say. $5 million in metals every single month. Then we now start to shape the market. So leverage number 3, those numbers go up, which then causes my balance at the end of 5 years to even exceed the numbers we're showing here. Because for the first time ever, we were in a position collectively as MWR to truly make wealth real. Collectively, we can smooth the market. We can make the market increase to our benefit. And Brian, let me ask you a question. You get together with a lot of very, very successful people in your country club. Have they been in a position to move the market to their benefit in the way we're talking about?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I
And
mean,
when
this is it, and we've said it before. Nobody on here has the ability to do what a hedge fund can do when it comes to the market. When it comes to the stock market, they can make major purchases with billions of dollars and affect stock prices. Nobody here individually can do that. Collectively, we're going to be doing that, guys. We're going to be driving the appreciation and the price of precious metals up. That's what we want to do. And it comes from us growing MWR, because the more of us that are participating, the more your precious metals increase. Okay. So I want you to know that. Dom, we're way after time.
yes.
I know we wanted to go an hour. We're at 9:11.
One
but
last click. One last click, guys. I got to see
Yeah.
it. If we're driving up appreciation, what if it went to 25?
yeah,
Okay. Show
It-
me the money.
I broke the calculator.
it broke the calculator. I love it. I love it.
I'll fix that. The next
All right.
version, that won't happen.
All right. Well, listen, hey guys, let's go ahead and end this, because I know some people are wanting to share some stuff. Mike, we've got some people asking where can they get the Illustrator. Michael put a new version of this Illustrator up in mwrtelegram.com. So definitely, if you're not on MWR Telegram, get on mwrtelegram.com. It's our Telegram group, and we'll put one in there. And hold on, start my video. Sorry about that. We'll put that in there, and so you guys can have it. But watch this video, pass it on, share it with other people. You got people that are questioning things, and there are tons of skeptics out there, guys. We've been around for 8 years. You look at our asset management company that's handling our leasing contracts, 115-year-old asset management company. You look at our precious metals provider, our depository, all of these things, the credibility is through the roof. Okay. Then go and Google what we're saying, and you're going to see for yourself, this is real. It's happening with or without us. Okay. But we're the only company that has been able to put it all in one beautifully neat package that allows everyone who wants more out of life to be able to participate. And if that's you, let's don't leave anybody behind. Okay. Let's go make a difference, because our goal, our mission with this company has always been to create more millionaires than any and financially independent families than any other company in history. This right here is the formula to time and financial freedom, where you are able to invest in an income producing asset that produces enough in monthly returns to be able to support your current lifestyle, your future lifestyle, and your legacy all at the same time. And the ability to be able to share it and get paid handsomely to do it is the accelerator to the entire process. How fast do you want it to happen? All you got to do is go tell somebody else. With that said, have a great night, guys. Have a great rest of the week. Have a great Memorial Day. And I want to give a special shout out to all of our veterans and stuff. Thank you for your service, but I also want to remember all those that served and gave their life for all the freedoms that we get to enjoy. So love you guys. Appreciate you a bunch. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next Thursday. All right. See you guys. Bye-bye. Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Dom.
Thanks.